Broadcasting live from the luxury suite on the plain of Kylam, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody. I'm Graham.
I'm Cameron.
I'm Kathleen.
I'm Nelson, and we're back in the luxury suite.
Yes.
We got in.
What did you say? Bribed a janitor?
Yeah, we bribed a janitor.
Yep, we're still getting we're still billing room service.
Yeah.
To our patron.
Yep. Because
we jammed a garbage can underneath the door handle, and
so
this
they
time
can't get in.
Mm-hmm. I hired a bunch of ex-arena people from the plain of Kylam and to form a mercenary squad to drop into the luxury suite from off the roof with a bunch of rappelling ropes and stuff.
Because we deserve it.
Yeah.
Because this is Tap Tap Concede episode 300.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made it.
Whew.
Ooh,
Holy
speaking
moly.
of treat yourself, we got
Yeah.
a treat in the mail
Oh,
today.
yeah.
What?
I was going to say,
Timely.
Tap Tap Concede is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. They're great for all the normal reasons that we say, but also because they sent us this. This congratulatory award. It says, Tap Tap Concede, congrats on 300 episodes, love CK.
What is that?
It is an obsidian trophy with a golden goat surmounting the top of it.
You better chump block with that later.
This is terrific.
It's the 01 of our hearts.
You can sacrifice that to get an artifact back.
This
from your
goat has a
graveyard.
prominent udder.
The trophy is the artifact.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
The only goat that loops itself with Trading Post.
How many counters do we have on this trophy? Like, what does it tap for right
oh,
now?
that's a great question. I have no idea. Anyway,
CardKingdom.com. Watch out. They're really going to send you the stuff you bought.
they're really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
They're not kidding.
They have your address now, and they'll send you whatever they like.
Yeah.
Maybe we could
It almost
move-
certainly corresponds with what you ordered, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
stay
but they might
vigilant.
send you extra stuff
Stay
that you weren't
vigilant.
expecting, like free tokens and things.
Yeah, maybe we could make them a new slogan now. Cardkingdom.com. They're not kidding.
Yeah.
I do want to say that cardkingdom.com shipping is so timely. They ship your singles on time and our trophy to get to
This-
us before we broadcast.
This arrived 2 hours ago.
By goat. It was
Before-
on a real goat.
That would be extra impressive.
Yeah. It got up the stairs and everything.
Yeah. And the show is also brought to you by you and has been since the beginning at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. So welcome, everybody, to episode 300. We started Tap Tap Concede in 2013 because that's how long it takes to get to 300 episodes, because we haven't done them every week, mostly every week, but not every week.
Plays
November's
Simon
really been
and
falling
Garfunkel
apart.
Bookends theme .mp3.
Yeah, we were looking at James and I were looking at the wiki entry to sort of see it's hard to gauge who counts as a guest star, like who's like a guest on the show, because of course for the past several pre-releases we've had all of those people on as guests. We had Jeremy White amusingly on the show way back. When was he? When did you say he was on?
He first appeared,
Like talking about vintage in like 2015.
yeah, vintage in February 8th of 2015 with Jeremy Petter
Yeah.
and Kada or Kaida?
Kada.
Kada.
Okay.
I guess the Vintage must have. Would they have just gotten Monastery Mentor in 2015, or was that more recently?
Uh-oh. I don't know. Sorry. I'm trying to remember which
Pop
year
quiz.
We've had
Favor Forge came out. Yeah.
Dan Emmons on a couple times. We've had Shivam on a couple times, who just launched his own podcast, by the way, called Casual Magic with Shivam Bot.
Has Brian been on a couple times? I know he's been in town, the prof.
No, I don't
Okay,
think
sorry.
so. We've had Marshall and Kenji on when they've been up for pre-releases as well. We had Chat Mod Nirvana on once because he was in town.
The professor has been on it.
Oh, he has? Oh,
Yeah, he
good.
was on the April 9th, 2018 episode. But what is Popper?
Oh, good.
Oh, of course. Yes, Popper champion, the professor.
But just once. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, Cam, your first appearance was on the 18th episode
Wow.
back in 2013.
When you were a baby.
Yeah.
And it was sort of, you were a non-permanent regular for quite a while there, sort of like
Well, that was when I was still in school.
yeah, like occasionally off and on. but now you're on all the time. Nelson, I looked this one up as well, and James actually informed me that I was not correct, because your actual first appearance was almost exactly 3 years ago to the day.
2 years ago, right?
No, three. Your first actual
right, it's 2020.
appearance.
That's weird.
Was in 2017 in January.
Okay.
What was the actual date? The recording date?
January 12th.
Okay, so yeah, almost exactly 3 years ago. But then it was 2 years ago where you started being a regular.
Okay.
So it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Or almost exactly 2 years rather that you've been on the podcast.
That's wild. Yeah, that
regularly.
That second year really flew by. I guess.
Right?
I don't know.
It has also been
It surprised me too.
It has been almost exactly tomorrow is the 7-year anniversary of the first episode recording.
So if you're watching, that will have been a couple days ago or
Yeah.
last week or whatever. So we did it.
For the benefit of those watching on the YouTube channel, James has also prepared some visual aids for what that episode looked like. Here's a screenshot of January 18th, 2013, with our recording, heavy air quotes, studio
That
back
was
in
one of
Moonbase
the
Mark
offices
III.
in Moonbase 3. Was that the office that would go on to become the streaming studio?
No, this
No.
was the one beside it.
Okay.
Yeah, but we arranged it so that there was the table sort of in the middle of the room and the camera like sitting kind of at the weird end of the table, and you had to get around, like where you and I are sitting in this picture, we had to walk around that sort of squeeze
Is that
in the
picture
table.
on the screen?
Yes. yeah.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, we had the branding there. Oh yes, then we rearranged the room to this setup with our small IKEA table that could just hold 4 microphones.
Right.
Yes.
And
I like-
putting now the Tap Concede screenshot on a very old iMac.
I like that Kathleen is like fully, like she's got to like pull herself into shot here, right? She's like, I'm on this table. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
This table's plenty big. Not a problem at all.
Great framing.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, the SM58 microphones, good audio, but the pop screen definitely with sort of obscuring our face more so than these ones do.
I mean, you look really similar. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm okay with that.
So that's from 2014.
Alex has no hair. Yeah.
Oh, and then we moved down into the
Right.
basement of Moonbase Mark III.
Right. I
So-
forgot about this set. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the feed dump set.
Yeah, with the chairs that were impossible to look good in.
Yes.
Yeah. We thought they were a good idea, and it
Yeah.
turns out they were not.
Well, they
I mean,
were
they looked
inexpensive.
fine.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you look at the catalog and you're like, these will probably work good. You can get custom colors for them, match our branding.
Yeah.
And you sit in them and you immediately become your lumpiest possible self.
The key was they were small, because like this screenshot, doesn't look that bad, but the space we had to work with was actually minuscule. And yeah, all the IKEA shelving in the background of this shot is on that weird, I don't know, step
Yeah.
in front
the
of the
back of
big
that
double
huge green
doors.
screen?
Yeah,
Or-
the big
okay.
double doors are behind that we never opened.
Right.
Are behind the set there.
I would like to point out, though, sticking stuff on a cube from IKEA has been our aesthetic for a long time, and it's still working for us.
You know what? It's a solid play.
Well, you're not the only ones.
No.
I think among Magic streamers, it's fairly common, and
There's
podcasters.
many
It's-
things to display.
There are there are many homages to the Calyx god, right?
I mean, I think we're doing quite a bit better than the other alternate podcast setup, which is sitting behind a table covered in Funko Pops
Right.
to establish one's cred.
Woof. Yeah. I discovered that my Pro Tour Nicol Bolas Funko Pop that's on the set in the other room goes on the aftermarket at like over $200
Gross.
Wow.
because they didn't make very many of them because they were only sold at the Pro Tour.
Huh. Is that
Yeah.
one of those Chase Funkos you hear about?
Yeah, apparently.
Did you hear that from Ailey?
No, I stumbled across it. Someone was showing off their collection of all their Magic Funkos on the subreddit, and someone was like, "Oh man, you've got the Pro Tour Bolas. I haven't been able to validate the purchase of that one." And I was like, "Why is that a thing?" And I looked it up, and it was like, "What the? It's like $200." I also have the flocked Ajani from Comic-Con. It collects cat hair like a
Yeah, that's
mother.
why it's here.
Yeah.
I noticed there was 2 of Johnny's last time I was in the studio, actually, and I have a Sarkhan, and I don't know if you guys have
One
a
is
Sarkhan.
flocked. I don't think we do have Sarkhan.
Maybe I should bring him down.
He can join his friends.
That's right.
Right. So now we're in Moonbase Delta from this
Right.
screenshot.
Same chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, they still Actually, you know what, Cameron? You look very elegant there.
My hair went. I always say that I've been going gray since I was 16,
I mean, you have.
It's a
I've
process.
noticed
Yeah.
for years. You've always had a few gray hairs.
but I think I've really gone gray in the last 2 or 3 years.
This was almost 4 years ago, this picture.
In the last 4 years,
All right, there you go.
because like my hair is quite dark there.
Graham does look different because he was wearing a lot more beard then.
I think that was probably a mistake. That was an awful lot of beard.
Oh, of course. Everything we've ever done has been a mistake.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
Wait
true.
till we look back at all these high-waisted pants in hindsight.
Now, see, you've got the trick there with these seats is that you had to cross your leg, because if you didn't, it just made you sit in the most awkward position.
Yeah.
As you see Alex and I both doing there.
Yeah, because it sunk your butt down just a little too far, so you had to like lean forward.
Yeah. it's
Considering
bad.
the space that we had to work with, I actually quite liked how this set turned out, because that room was not large.
No.
No.
And then was there a different variant on that one? Oh no, we came right to here. So yeah, because we were only in that office for like a year and a half, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's upsetting. Oh well.
Yeah, you guys
Happy-
put a lot of work into that place, but we got to see
Yeah.
it evolve and quickly.
Yeah.
And a lot of good stuff was produced in there.
It's true.
Yeah.
Happy with our current place though.
Yeah,
which is
me
nice.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure how many content producers get to look at their past like this and just see a constant stream of upgrades and improvements.
That's
Right.
true. That is nice. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, this is the first shot in this room. This is the exact same angle. The TV is sitting in the same position, but you wouldn't be able to tell, which is nice. We also got the branding refresh, which I'm very pleased with. Got the new intro from Living Cards put together there, and now we have the consistent branding across our Magic content, which I'm personally proud of, but it's less relevant for some people. But yeah, this was the sort of slapdash, like, yeah, we'll put soundproofing squares on the wall.
That looks kind of thin.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that bad.
This is before we
this
put
wall
the
looks
shelf up.
better, yeah, but I think that wall looked okay.
Is there a different screenshot of that? No. Okay. So we did have a shelf under the TV
Right.
at one point, which is not on this screenshot.
I know that there is some dissatisfaction with this particular, like the reflectivity of this table.
Really, I love it.
Oh, me too. I really just like the way that it picks up the blues in the background.
Yeah. No, I think it looks really interesting. I like
But
it a
you've
lot.
read some comments and people don't like it?
Oh, I think Beej in particular saw
okay.
satin finish and assumed it would be more matte than this. But like,
Well,
I
the thing
like
is,
this.
it looks really matte in person, but then, like, on the camera, it
It's
is
just
so
the right angle.
reflective. But in person, I'm not seeing, like, the blue lights from behind us reflected. Like, it looks far more reflective on camera.
It looks cool on camera. It really amplifies the. What was it, James? Was it you or Matt that came up with futuristic?
That was
Ooh.
Matt.
Yeah.
But-
For the
Oh, good term.
the room, yeah.
Yeah, the
'Cause
barn board with the light panels.
with the nanoleafs, yeah.
Straight out of like someone who can just barely afford nice things in the Serenity universe, or
Yeah.
or the Firefly universe, right? Yeah,
Or somebody living in like a somewhat antique Victorian mansion in a cyberpunk setting.
yeah, that's probably closer. Yeah, we hadn't talked about it yet, but I think the audio quality of the recordings has gotten better over time.
Yeah,
I know
it
that
definitely has.
When I first started, like around this time, mid 2017, there was a lot of working out the kinks of the audio recording of the podcast.
I didn't put it in the photo, but we started with the SM58s, which is actually what I'm talking into right now. They're still
a
great
classic
mics. Yeah,
microphone
they're
for
great
a
mics.
reason.
Yeah, Italian music school.
And then we actually went to the around the head headset mics that I forgot to grab
Did
a
we?
photo of, but we ran those for almost a year. And then we switched to the lav mics.
Yeah.
And then we switched to these 7MBs.
Yeah.
What they're out?
SM7Bs.
The
yeah.
SM7Bs.
Well, because we realized this was like a sort of a philosophical discussion from a production standpoint of like what kind of show are we making, right? Because the lav mics are better if we're producing a visual product, and these are better for a podcast. And lots of people listen to this show purely as a podcast, but don't necessarily watch the YouTube video version. So let's get the best audio we can, and then if someone is watching the video version, us having these microphones in front of us is not that big of a deal.
Well,
It's people. There's content of like people broadcasting video of people recording radio shows, and they have big microphones in them, and it's fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, there is that streamer aesthetic as well, where you have your boom mic directly in front of you in shot,
Yeah.
right? And that's like a very deliberate thing, because that mic doesn't need to be there to pick up the sound, right? And I don't know. It adds a certain studio mise en scène.
Yeah. We can get some flags printed for our microphones.
We could, yeah.
Some stickers, maybe.
And also, people always ask us, have done for years about making content, and I've always emphasized how important audio is and how people will forgive a certain amount of a certain lack of fidelity in the video as long as the audio sounds good, whereas the reverse is absolutely not true. If something looks gorgeous but sounds awful, no one will watch it. And so, I think this is a fine solution, and these microphones are fantastic. So, also, I just like doing that. I like getting real close to them and for emphasis.
I
didn't
like
know
how
that
your hair looks, Cameron.
Yeah, your hair looks great, Cam.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a question about that boom mic thing, though, because I hadn't noticed it, but it sounds right. I do watch some Twitch streamers, and I just don't always know the things that they're doing that are like on purpose that they share or whatever. Do you think that like showing that you own a boom mic is sort of like the Renaissance like mercenaries cutting slits in their outer jackets and pulling their shirts out to be like, look at me, I have money. I can afford more than one piece of clothing. Like I have 2 microphones.
I mean,
potentially.
First off,
peons.
I assume the Swiss Guard joined up for that uniform.
Okay.
Right? Like, that's a handsome look right there. I mean, if you're going to dress to go to war, I know what I want to look like. And I'd better have a hat.
That's why we're about to see a whole lot of Jaskier cosplays.
Oh, yeah. Only Jaskier always looks like he's wearing pajamas. Jaskier needs to... The women's costuming in The Witcher, this is great. The men all like, it's just not quite good enough, right? I feel Jaskier needs more color.
I mean, he's apparently not a very good bard.
But he got hired to go to the Queen's
That's true.
thing.
That's true.
Right? Like, I don't know.
Did
More
he get
reds,
hired?
more
I thought
yellows.
maybe he was just there.
Did he just show up?
I thought
No,
he
because
just...
he had to go, because that's why he got Geralt to... Anyway, go watch The Witcher.
Tap, tap, Witcher.
pretty good.
Yeah. I don't, like, it might just be a thing where a lot of people like how it looks.
Right.
Right? Like you're seeing inside the studio,
Yeah.
basically, if you don't have a green screen up. You're just seeing inside this person's workspace. So maybe having an aesthetic where it looks like a workspace is fine. And I don't know, maybe the audio is actually just a little bit better if you pull the mic right down.
It does
right?
look... It definitely does look more interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have ours coming down from the top, so we in Studio A, so we like to have it out of shot, or else you have like the person sitting there and the background is green screened out, and then there's just this black object floating above their head.
Yeah.
So yeah. If it came in from the side, maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, right? But I think it's a thing where it's visually interesting.
Let's talk about Theros.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't actually have anything further to contribute on the notion of this being our 300th episode. We don't have any sort of like barn burner of a plan for what to do about like the 300th episode, apart from sort of just talk about us for the first 15 minutes of it and then get into a normal episode.
I mean, I guess this is where we kick James into a well.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, I was going to try to make some parallel there. We get out our spears and we thump them on the ground twice and then we concede.
But it's not Sparta, it's Theros. So let's crack a pack of it.
Ooh.
There are definitely some very Spartan-inspired looking people in here. The Boros hoplite comes to mind. So yeah, we're just going right to the most recent thing. This is a pack of Theros. Let's get into it. First up, Nyxborn Sea Guard, 2 blue for a 2/5 enchantment creature. Yeah,
It's vanilla.
Oh, that's it.
it's
Yep.
constellation. It's devotion. It's
a merfolk.
fine.
It's probably
it's-
fine.
Yeah, fine.
fine.
I'm running this in my current sealed deck at home on Arena.
If you got a block, you got a block.
You got a block?
Format at
Honestly,
2/5.
I feel like the big butt's actually pretty good in this format because it shuts down a lot of the small, hasty red and white creatures.
Yeah. It's like,
This is way better than a 2/5 for 4. Right? Just it being
right.
Constellation
sure.
Yeah.
helps out a lot.
Also better than a 2/5 for 5, which is like usually a reasonable include in a deck that's playing a lot of flyers.
Also, blue doesn't often get creatures that are just better than like a white creature,
Right.
right? Like Pillarfield Ox.
This
is
is
just
this
better.
is better than Pillarfield Ox. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, Kathleen, if you like big butts, you're gonna love Nyxborn Colossus.
I cannot lie.
3 green,
I'm
green,
fond of
green.
them.
3 green, green, green for a 6/7 enchantment creature. also vanilla.
How
also,
much do you want devotion, and how much do you want a huge thing?
And how much do you wish this card was just called Boulder Fist Ogre?
This is part of the cycle of vanilla enchantment creatures that have verses of the Calafea in their flavor text. If you want to put that whole poem together, find it yourself.
I wonder how much of the Theriad and the Calafea actually got written.
I'm also curious of that. Yeah.
This is a decent little bit of poetry.
Yeah.
Next up, Temple Thief, which is the black bear with some sort of relevant evasion of the set, which is 1 and a black for a 2/2 human rogue, can't be blocked except by enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures.
There
which
are
is-
Can't be blocked by.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, can't be blocked by. Sorry, yes. So
Walks right past both those creatures you've just seen.
has a good shot at getting in.
Yeah, I've been playing in a lot of games where I have been completely unable to block this for most of the game.
It's also
in one way or
weird.
another.
Go ahead.
Is it good though?
I think it's probably playable.
I think it's absolutely average. It's a 2/2 for 2. Sometimes you need that in your deck.
Yeah, like I did mention that I've been unable to block her for a long stretch of a game that I won.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I just don't think a 2/2 for 2 without any kind of bonus abilities is going to get you that far. But it's a common. Like, what do we expect? I
It
think
always,
it's fine.
yeah, it always depends how easy it is to turn on the evasion. Because I remember in Shadows over Innistrad, it was reasonable to get Delirium, and in white there was a 2/2 for 2 flyer, and I won some games for that card, and I saw it winning some other games. So
It might peel it. It's also in sealed right now, where your opponent's likely to have like at least if you're playing on Mitgo, you can draft, but
Yeah.
I've only really seen Arena, and because you're playing sealed, your opponent's more likely to have a blend of enchantment and non-enchantment creatures. But once we go to draft, and people might be like trying to lean hard into the constellation decks, it might be like this card is amazing, or this card is just a 2/2,
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Next up is this set's version of this card, which is Chain to Memory. Single blue for an instant. Target creature gets -4/-0, and you scry 2.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
Seems good.
It's good.
This is better than the average blue power shrinking card.
What about the average Edict? This is Farika's Libation. 2 and a black for an instant. Choose 1. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, or target opponent sacrifices an enchantment.
I think this card is very poor. Sorry, Cameron.
I've had a lot of actually the opposite experience where this one has sniped out a few important creatures of mine.
Right,
because
where it's
they're-
like your best creature is your only enchantment.
Yes.
Interesting. I had it in my sealed deck at the pre-release actually, and I found that you had to use it immediately. Like as soon as you drew it, it's not good for dealing with problems late game. Like the longer the game goes, the more creatures and enchantments your opponent is likely to get out. But I was asking Melissa DeTora about it, and she said, well, I mean, black doesn't typically have access to enchantment removal.
That's right.
But you can't just give black good enchantment removal. It's not really in the color pie. So it gets access to this very weakened version of it that will get there if it needs to, possibly.
Yeah, wasn't there a commander card printed in the latest commander set that was target opponent sacrifices, like an edict for an enchantment?
I don't remember. I was going to say that, like, foils will probably do okay if you're drafting and not sure what to pick, but there's a foil libation. You can probably sell it to a commander player because black has so little way to deal with enchantments, and some enchantments are problems for black decks and commanders. So.
Yeah.
Next up is Hyrax Tower Scout. 2 and a green for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, untap target creature. This is fine.
That's great. I mean, I'm usually a fan in limited of Centaur Courser, and that ability is relevant.
True. So here's the thing. I was initially very high on this for exactly that reason, right? It's just a Centaur Courser, which is always fine, and or generally it's pretty often better, often very solid, and you get to attack with something, play this, untap something. And I was watching Kenji streaming, and he was talking about how the problem with this is that it just sort of there's so many escape creatures.
Okay.
That this just sort of trades for their loathsome chimera. And then they get their chimera back and you don't get your scout back.
Sure.
But, it's like you said, 3/3 for 3.
Yeah.
Untaps a thing.
And they
Seems
can't
fine.
get their Chimera back endlessly, right? Because you got to exile cards from your graveyard.
And
to
you
do the
need to
escape.
get some cards into your graveyard to bring your Chimera back, right?
Yeah.
And this could be one of them. I don't know. I think that's a reasonable stance to take on, like, everything that doesn't have escape or is a bomb, and this is only a solid role player. So
Yeah.
maybe it needs to get cut for that reason if you have cards that are doing other jobs, but you're not every card is going to be your escape creature,
Yeah.
right? Because they
I
have to
should say,
exile each
where are we
other.
actually coming from with this? Because obviously Kathleen, Cameron, and I played in the pre-release. You, of course, watched a bunch of the pre-release.
Yeah, I judged half the matches of the pre-release, and then I've just played a little bit of standard from the early access event earlier
Okay,
this
yeah.
week. That's all.
I
I haven't
played-
played any limited yet at all.
James and I played some sealed in the early access event, and then a little bit. It was all just still sealed yesterday on LRMTG.
Yep.
And I've also played a sealed 1.5 of them, I think, at home. So lots of sealed I've played.
Yeah, I've done 2 sealed events, I'm on my second one right now. This card, Kiora Defeats the Sea God.
That one seems like it's
Is-
pretty good.
It's a bad and wrong card, and I don't like it.
We were
at all.
having a perfectly normal and fine and friendly game of Magic the Gathering during the streamer event against Reed Duke, and everything was fine, and we were winning the whole time because Reed wasn't doing anything. And then he cast that, and we lost the game.
Yep.
Yeah,
That sucked.
Yep.
seems like what will happen sometimes.
No, it was a good game, and he was apparently being very kind to our obvious plays on his end of the stream.
Yeah,
We were not playing at our peak, but also it's Reed Duke. Also, this card, I'll read it out for you. Kiora bests the Sea God, 5 blue. I predict now the nickname will be Control Finisher. It's a saga. So on chapter 1, you make an 8/8 blue Kraken token with hexproof. You
The
just
hexproof's quite rude, I
it's
think.
supremely irritating. Chapter 2, Sleep. Tap all non-target permanents, target opponent.
it's even better than sleep.
Sorry,
for some
better than
reason.
sleep.
non-target. Yeah. Tap all non-land permanents, target opponent controls. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step.
Important to note, this will get any non-creature gods you have out.
Right.
They also just go to sleep.
And then chapter 3, Mind Control. Gain control of target permanent and opponent controls. Also untap it.
I keep expecting there to be more text where there's a downside to what's going on to me right now.
Right?
You lose 15 life.
Yeah. But this is just like, it's just like cryptic command. It just keeps having more words, and you're like, I don't even know.
All the words beat me.
The floor is I get an 8/8 with hexproof, and it just gets better and better after that.
Yeah, it's like, what now? Take an extra turn? Okay.
Yeah.
Draw 3 cards.
Draw 3 cards.
Ridiculous.
It's a very it's a mythic.
Yeah.
Powerful card.
I know. It's just
For a
ridiculous.
mythic, it's been showing up with shocking frequency against me.
Yeah.
I liked Emma's tweet about, like, just played against Kiora Best the Sea God, and it's a picture of a hole punched in a drywall.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you were saying.
I thought it would initially be nicknamed Kiora Wins a Game of Limited, but reading it again and like talking about the hexproof,
Yeah.
and then the word non-land permanent and target you can even, the third chapter, you can even steal a land if that's the thing.
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'm going to kill you anyway.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take your basic planes.
Those extra details make me think, yeah, maybe this actually is worth running and constructed, and we'll just get into some versions of Simic Ramp or sideboards where
I'm
you know
going
you
to
aren't getting
lose to
countered.
someone's
Yeah.
meme deck
Sure.
Yeah.
with this, and it's going to hurt
That's our role in
on
life,
the
Cameron.
inside.
Cracking in.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
Next
That one's free.
card
Okay.
in the pack is the Wings of Hubris.
Speaking.
Yeah, really.
2 mana equipment. The equipped creature has flying. The equip cost is 1. Also, you can sacrifice the Wings of Hubris. Equipped creature can't be blocked this turn, and then sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step.
If I stick around long enough, instead of just leaving the podcast, maybe I can watch that last pun fall in a fiery blaze out of the sky.
Yeah. So, yeah, Wings of Hubris is interesting. It's cheap if you need to give something flying, and that's not awful in this limited environment. I've seen people run this enough.
It's just better than Cobbled Wings has an extra ability.
Yeah.
Also, I like that the extra ability is double flying.
If you change, I assume the creature still dies even if you equip this to a different thing,
Yes.
right?
I would think
Huh?
so.
What do you mean? You have to sacrifice this to do the ability. So you can't.
Sacrifice.
You sacrifice this thing.
Oh, sacrifice.
And then,
oh.
and then The creature has double flying that turn, and then you sacrifice the creature at the end of the turn.
Yeah. Just if you absolutely have to get through for the final hit, sacrifice the equipment, the creature's not blockable, and then the creature dies. Did you misread
Never
this?
seen this face on camera in my
You
life.
gotta sacrifice equipment, and then the creature that you turn into the cannonball also dies on impact.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's colorless fling, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. It's, I mean, flavorfully, it's telling the story of Icarus, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
I
you
guess
could
it's
use
like
it-
way worse than fling. Sorry.
But you could use it for fling shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, like
That's true.
Extra
'cause
fling.
Well, fling lets you like get it basically like fight target player.
Yeah.
Right. So
Ye-
This could be the pre-fling move to get into flings.
Yeah.
Yeah, pre-combat, fling, post-combat, fling the same creature with fling.
Next, we have Flicker of Fate. It's 1 and a white for an instant. Exile target creature or enchantment, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. This is very good.
this excites me.
I've seen this card put in work in the seals you've done at home.
Yeah, if your opponent is going all in on like multiple +1/+1 counters and several auras on one creature, and then you just sort of go, cool.
Oh, this doesn't say you control.
No. Then you just make all that fall off.
Just got me.
Yeah.
Just saw it.
I've had that done to me as well, and it's a real beating.
So this also just punks auras, too. It's almost as good as a bounce spell. It's like a bounce spell.
Yeah.
Also, you can flicker something in response to a devotion check.
Okay.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
if they're attacking with their god, and you flicker something so that they momentarily lose devotion, the god falls out of combat.
Wait, yeah. Sorry, yeah. You can get rid of a god with this, but like, yeah, the other thing I was thinking of because it comes back immediately. Then
Right, it's not at end of turn. That
Yeah.
that would work against Gary, right? Like they
But
play
you
Gary
do
and they
you
target
can
this.
you can hit your own stuff for constellation. You can this has a lot of applications. Thirst for meaning. The latest in the cycle
That's
of
a big
thirsts.
mood,
Yeah,
Christ.
right. 2 and a blue for an instant. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 unless you discard an enchantment.
Look at that flavor text.
Seems good.
A sip of recollection, an ocean of regrets. All of this is very big mood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the merfolk in the back look like they're having a really bad day remembering some stuff that they said in like grade 6.
what is the other version of this card where it's an artifact?
Thirst for knowledge?
Thirst for knowledge.
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Of course.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will be a constructed staple, I think. You know.
Fairies Band Brawler, 4 green for a 4/4 Centaur Warrior that's also an affectionate Indrik. It's literally, and if it's 4/4 for 6, when it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control.
Did we have to pay 6 for this before? Or
For affectionate Indrik, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, okay, it was 5 generic and 1 green.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess this is slightly worse, but
But
it's-
slightly better probably in
better
this
for
context for
devotion.
devotion.
Yeah. It's
Although
also
creatures
just good.
here are a bit bigger than they were in Ravnica.
Also true. Yeah. So this might have a tough time picking off exactly what you want it to, but
But
Yeah, that's true.
It'll get something.
Yeah, the thing with the Indrik in Ravnica is it just basically kicked most things over a ledge.
Yeah. Whereas this is just going to find like whatever your utility creature is and like spin kick it in the chest. Like, yeah, it's good though. It's good. Run it.
This next one's so odd and I love it. Metamize Prophecy. So it's a saga for 1 and a blue with 4 chapters. So chapter 1, you play the saga, scry 2. That's fine. Chapter 2, all you do is name a card. That's all you do on that turn is you name a card. On the next turn, chapter 3, when you cast a spell with the name you chose the prior turn, you draw 2 cards.
Announce your plans.
Yeah. And then chapter 4, for whatever reason, you look at the top card of each player's library.
I want to do nothing with this so much.
That's clearly what you may do. That is
It's great.
available.
I
Nothing
love
is available
this.
to you.
I mean, you are making a prophecy. It's like, oh,
Yep.
I don't know, Fairies Band Brawler. And then it shows up. Oh my God!
What a surprise. Now, pro tip, you can name any card, so you can name lands. That doesn't work because it is whenever you cast a spell with the chosen name, and you do not cast, lands are not spells that you cast. You just play lands. So don't be like, haha, I'll name planes. You should name something you probably already have in hand or are sure to get. Just
Or perhaps something you scried to the top.
exactly.
Name whatever you want to be named with Cabal Therapy.
It just mind games your opponent.
Yep.
But then you don't get to draw 2 cards.
There's
know.
proliferate in standard. You could just have an evolution sage out and then play a land that turn, so you don't have to.
Proliferate.
So you don't have to pass the turn and get duressed or whatever.
That's brilliant. I like that a lot.
I mean,
Anyway.
brilliant is a stretch, but brilliant is I'm going to segue inside of the same conversation. Brilliant is an apt description for Seb McKinnon's art on this card.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's really loud
There's
clapping. Sorry.
Awesome art in there's terrific art through this whole set and Commanding Presence. Thundering Chariot.
I like Commanding
is
Presence.
it-
I like how it looks.
I don't. I think it looks like a very, very old Magic
Oh
set.
wow.
It's a classic look.
It looks
What was the
Look.
one where the dude's getting hit? with
reverse
a-
polarity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It
Wow.
does look a
I
little
just
bit
needed
like-
to like do the pose. And
Yeah.
how to do
Oh yeah.
something.
No, I know exactly what you were gonna say. It's. I'm sorry.
This card's pretty strong.
No, this card is great.
Yeah.
This card is terrific. Yeah.
First strike.
Yeah.
You know
no,
what
it's
that
very
that
good.
card says to me though? Commanding Presence. Also like Harvey Birdman. But I like it.
We're just going.
I mean, it looks like one of the bad guys that he would fight.
It's important that we're honest about art, so that
But
when
I'm not
we
saying that in a bad way. I'm
when
saying
we
that in a
appreciate it,
neutral
we
and
mean it.
appreciative way.
right.
First name, last name, occupation. Centurion. All right. Next up is there was. Did you know there was a vehicle in this set? I was surprised when I opened my pack for the pre-release. It's Thundering Chariot. It's a 4-mana artifact, and It's a 3/3 vehicle. Crew only 1. It only takes 1 to crew, so you can crew with those satyrs that can't block.
Oh.
And it's got first strike, trample, and haste.
The crew costs for vehicles have really come down
Yeah. And
since they got printed.
I'm surprised they printed this with only a crew of 1, considering how often that's bit them in the ass before. But here we are.
It's a 4-mana 3/3 without flying.
Yeah, I know.
With
It's-
first strike,
I
trample,
like
and
it.
haste.
They're not
though.
going to ban it.
No. It's no Rafflecopter.
Yeah. Rip in peace, Smuggo.
You attacked and then played one of these post combat at the PPR.
Yes.
And it kind of made me go,
That it felt bad.
yeah. It has first strike, and you were like, I figured out that you knew it had haste, and you didn't want to attack with it.
Yeah.
But I still was just like, haste creature post combat.
I know. I don't like it, but here we are. We have
Graham lost that game.
I have a foil. I lost most of my games. We have a foil loathsome chimera. Which is it's a real player. This one, 2 and a green for a 4/1. That's it. But then it has escape. The escape cost is 4 and a green and exile only 3 cards, which is not that bad. It's not the cheapest. The cheapest in the set is 2 cards, but still 3 is not bad. And it escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. And so 3 mana for a 4/1. So it's going to trade with basically anything. You hope it's going to trade with something relevant. It's like really good blocker. And then you just get to bring it back later, and it's annoying. I don't know if this is a good card, but it's super irritating.
What was the 4/1 from Dark Ascension? It was a vampire that had the ability where it came back with a +1/+1 counter when it died.
Undying.
Undying.
Oh yeah,
Was it just a 2/2 for 4
no, it was,
or something?
It was
No.
a 4/1 vampire. In
Oh,
red.
okay.
Stromkirk something.
Probably. This
Most-
reminds me a
most
bit
of
of
them
that,
were.
only I think that was more
I
expensive.
don't
than
remember
this.
either. Yeah.
I feel like this card is like, if it didn't have escape, it would be just trash.
so
It'd be
bad.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's great. I think escape, honestly, from my very limited experience,
Blood Mad Vampire. There we go.
Oh,
yeah,
No,
it
no.
was.
Oh, okay,
Oh, and
okay.
also
This is
3.
the one you mean?
Wait,
Oh.
no, it has.
You mean Undying from Dark Ascension? That's a thing.
Did I just invent a new Magic card?
no.
No, there we go.
Near Heat
Yeah.
Stalker.
Near Heat Stalker.
Right. So it
Yeah,
trades
for
with 2
5
things
mana.
usually.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
with this watermark?
It's a
That
I
can't-
don't know.
That can't be something that was printed.
Oh
on the
God,
card.
no!
Yeah,
It's just the
no.
first one in Google Images
But
weird
this
that I
card
found.
was, I believe, like a WPN giveaway promo foil for whatever reason. Probably just because it had Undying, or maybe it was because they had some extra art lying around that they didn't know what to do with, and they're like, "It's a vampire. We can make it any vampire in the set." Haha.
Anyway, we have
But it was a promo foil.
We have a
Okay.
human soldier token, a Plains. Very, very pretty. And our rare is Storm Herald. It is 2 and a red for a 3/2 human shaman with haste, which is the only way I've seen it used, but it can, because it does have an ability with a bunch of text, which is, when it enters the battlefield, return any number of aura cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to creatures you control. Exile those auras at the beginning of your next end step. If those auras would leave the battlefield, exile them instead of putting them anywhere else. Kenji was telling a story on his stream today of someone who pulled back at 2 Irosa's Blessings with this, which is Irosa's Blessing is an amazing card. It's a 3 and a red creature enchantment, gives the creature +1/+1, but also when it enters the battlefield, it does 4 damage to a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls.
Nice.
It's just very, very strong. So getting 2 of these back just for free with Storm Herald from your graveyard is
Like I would
pretty
love to get
bonkers.
back the -3/-3 aura with this guy, or the pacifism that
I think
exiles.
you can only put
apathy.
them on your creatures.
correct.
Oh, only on our.
Yes. So you can't.
Wow, I
you
would totally have done that and then had to concede the game.
had to put them somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops.
But
Oops,
maybe
oops.
I wonder if this
Oops.
card could get into Bogles. Like probably not because it's just green white. I don't know if it's worth splashing for, but it's an interesting effect. It's certainly powerful.
So hey Cam, speaking of that one though, the -3/-3 is Myers Grasp.
Right.
So I've seen this happen a couple times. There's a lot of weird interactions with enchantments in this, with auras particularly in the set. Someone was playing against me and they had Dream Shaper. It's a 6-mana Minotaur, and it has this weird ability. Dream Shaper Shaman, thank you. 5/4 for 6. It's an enchantment creature. At the beginning of your end step, you can pay 2 and a red and sack a non-land permanent. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land permanent. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So the way that this works is they activate the ability, and if you want to respond to do anything, that's when you respond. Then they went looking, and they went, oh, look, a Myers Grasp. And Arena was like, look, they found a Myers Grasp. You don't have priority. I'm just showing you that they found a Myers Grasp.
Yeah, it's like revealed cards window, right? Yeah.
It's on your creature now. Your creature's dead. Goodbye.
Right.
Really?
Because it just gets attached to a creature.
Oh.
It doesn't target. It just goes. That also gets around hexproof, by
I was
the way.
about to
That's
say
right.
that
It just goes whoop right onto a creature.
That's right.
It's very weird.
You can use
That's so strange.
Yeah, they had when we were playing against Reed Duke, he had Dreadful Apathy, right? The 3-mana exile pacifism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then used the flicker card that we saw, the Flicker of Fate, to flicker his Dreadful Apathy and reattach it to a different creature of ours. Or sorry, let me clarify exactly the
The degenerate play.
yes. He activated the ability
of course.
of Dreadful
Of
Apathy
course, and then
to
responded.
exile the creature,
Yeah.
responded to his own ability to flicker Dreadful Apathy and attach it to a different creature. Then the ability resolved, exiling the first creature it was attached to. So Dreadful Apathy was still in play, still attached to one of our creatures, but the first creature had been exiled.
That's scrumptious.
That's why they pay him the big bucks.
Yeah, it
No
was
kidding.
amazing and demoralizing and well played, Reed. It turns out he's good at Magic. Anyway, you can do some shenanigans with enchantments in this set.
Could you
Holy
do that with
moly.
Thassa's end of turn flicker ability?
So
Does it flicker-
no, because
Okay,
you
is it
want
creatures.
You
Or is-
need that exile this. It's exile this and the creature. Is that what it is? Or it's if you
Nope,
it's just
it's-
exile the creature.
it's just
Oh,
exile
it's-
the
sorry,
creature.
exile
problem
up to one
is-
target creature.
so yeah,
control. Sorry, yes. No, I thought it was permanent.
Okay, but even if it was any one permanent, let me walk you through it. You want to activate that and then have the ability that flickers it get on top of the stack above the ability to exile the creature that's
Okay,
attached,
right.
because when the ability exiling the creature is attached resolves, before anyone else gets priority, then the pacifism apathy
Right,
will be
okay,
put
I
into
get
your
it.
graveyard.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Countering your flicker effect above. So you want to go exile a creature, respond, flicker it, so that first it flickers, goes on something else, and then we exile the creature that used to be attached to it.
All right.
Yeah, so that it won't work with having to start with the flicker trigger.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay, that was Crack a Pack.
that was our pack of cards. Yeah,
Nice.
And I think we've also talked extensively about sort of Theros
we got on
first
some good
impressions
tangents. Any other
so far.
any other first
Yeah.
impressions from
We don't
Limited
need to-
or just cards we liked?
That 3/5 flyer in blue-white.
Oh,
two,
yeah.
two white, two
I also
blue.
just saw this on Wednesday.
I didn't see that card until
Yeah.
it was played
Nobody
against
opened
me.
one.
No,
right?
I didn't.
Nobody opened one at the PPR.
No.
Yeah.
Dream
It
Trawler.
was a crazy Baneslayer
Yeah.
Angel. Yeah.
I did not see that until it was played against me on Arena,
what it
and
is?
I lost the game.
It's the most similar to big crazy grabby hands that Dan Emmons was one of his first cards he designed. I remember he
something,
told us
something
from Dark
Graph.
Ascension, yeah, or from Innistrad, yeah, first Innistrad.
It has
block.
like it's a keyword salad card.
yeah, but it's
Right,
similar
like-
to this where it's a blue-white big flyer and it draws cards.
Let me read you Dream Trawler.
Yeah.
2 white, blue for a 3/5 Sphinx. That's expensive and hard to cast. What do you get for it? Well, it flies. It has lifelink for fun. Whenever you draw a card, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
So it's up.
So it's a 4/5. Whenever it attacks,
But if you draw multiple cards, whenever you draw a card,
Exactly.
there's no ceiling.
because when it attacks, you draw a card. So it attacks as a 5/5.
Well, so it's a 5/5 flying lifelink, you say?
Yes. Also, you can discard a card to give it hexproof until end of turn and tap it. But if it's already attacking, it's already tapped.
Is that as good as protection from demons and dragons? I don't know.
That's very good.
very
Also,
good.
the art on this card is beautiful.
yeah.
It's Jesper Esping.
Better you
Epsing.
than me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well done.
it's good. I like this
Jesper.
card.
We're probably pronouncing Jesper wrong too.
Probably.
Yeah, isn't it Jesper?
Whatever your name is, person who painted / drew this card, it's gorgeous. We don't know. We don't know how to say it.
Your card beats faces, and I like it.
Yeah.
It's
But the
very
art's
powerful.
fantastic.
This-
Do you have any first impressions, thoughts, Kathleen? Not on Dream Trawler, just in the
No,
set.
Go ahead.
I mean, everybody saw me just get destroyed. My pool wasn't great for the pre-release. I was severely lacking in removal. But I mean, that's the run of the dice, and I haven't played that much, really, since we moved on. But it seems like a very fun set.
No, it's true.
You had
It
a
is.
pretty good time playing with. You played with Melissa, didn't you? At the
Yes.
in the last round, and
No, I played
she.
against Nadine in the last round.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Nadine. But she absolutely clobbered you, right?
She did. I got.
But you guys had a good
clobbering.
fun match.
If I was into BDSM, it would have been quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she was like kind of ahead, and then she was like, "Okay, I also have this little." I can't remember exactly what it was, but she did this thing that was just like, "Oh."
she played 7
no."
spells and 5 of them were rare.
Yeah.
Right.
In the
Oh,
first
right.
game.
Yeah. The
is
Cetacean
all
champion
the
kept growing
on-color
really
rares.
fast, right?
Yeah.
Also, special shout out to the blue uncommon that bounces an enchantment you control
Okay.
at the beginning of your upkeep.
Oh, so that's mad value.
That
with
one's
Constellation
that's
and
super
stuff.
value. I saw someone absolutely popping off with Omen of the Sea. With they had the Naiad of the Hidden Coves, which made
Yes.
the omens cheaper, and then they had it's a chimera. I want to say it's a flying enchantment creature.
I want to say it's a merfolk.
I think all
with
those omens are going to be
Constellation.
really good
it's
for.
it's
for
like
sealed.
it's an enchantment creature that's a merfolk and just bounces something at the beginning of turn.
Yeah, it's at the beginning of your upkeep. You can return any enchantment that you control to your hand, and so someone was just absolutely popping off with multiple omens, and it was gross and impressive because it's just 1 mana at that point. If you have if you cast it on your opponent's turn and you have the Naiad out, so it's just 1 mana draw.
Yeah.
Scry 2 draw a card. Yeah, it was a lot of value.
Start the story over and tell me it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Pump up your
Yeah.
dream trawler while you're at it.
Yeah.
The
I guess it's pretty wild with that prophecy card. By the way, sorry, I meant to make this segue too. Our very first Crack-A-Pack we did was a pack of prophecy, and we opened a Meletus's prophecy. No, what's the prophecy's name from this pack just now?
Metamind.
Metamize Prophecy.
Metamize prophecy.
Yeah.
So we got a little
So-
connection there. If you can draw 2 cards, and then it hasn't gone to the graveyard because it has 1 more chapter. That's totally irrelevant. It's just there to sit around, so you
Just
don't have to
flicker it.
sacrifice it, and then you can flicker it.
Perfect.
Out of curiosity, if I were to bounce this or flicker it after naming a card,
Right.
I would name another card as it iterates again.
Yes.
You could name the same card if you want.
Okay,
But when
the
you
fact that-
recast it, or
Yes.
when it comes back into play,
Is the
it'll
named
be on
card
chapter
no
1.
longer named?
Yes, it's a new object
Okay.
that won't remember which card you previously named. A new
Nice.
prophecy, if you will.
Okay.
I don't like this prophecy. Give me a new one.
New year, new metamized prophecy.
When Kathleen, when we were looking at the spoilers as they were coming out, you and I both agreed that this was going to be another one of those never blocking sets, right? Because it's just like there's so many cards that are just kind of like, oh, I don't want to block that. I've discovered in practice that there's also a lot of situations where it's a no attacking set because you get into a situation where it's like, well, if I attack, then my opponent just blocks with their Pharika's spawn and they have no cards in hand and a whole ton of mana. So next turn they're just going to escape their Pharika's spawn and then I have to sacrifice something. So I don't want to even attack. Go? Like it's the games are very interesting.
I think that's probably on purpose.
Well, yeah.
So far, I like it a lot more than I like Throne.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. I never once drafted mono-colored in Throne of Eldraine.
Really?
Which apparently was like a whole thing.
Did you read how Adamant works?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
And you
played the Adamant cards and
two colors?
got
Yeah. All right.
I cast them with Adamant in 2-color decks.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Good
didn't
for you.
I didn't really know until I was listening to the Limited Resources Sunset show that they were how heavily monocolored it was supposed to have been.
Well, the other thing too is that there were those uncommon 4-drops.
Yeah.
That you can play more of if you're in one color,
That's true.
and they're all pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So, I felt pushed into one color.
Maybe
in
I
that
should
set.
maybe I should draft more of it. I drafted
Quickly.
a lot of it. Yeah, it's still available for the
Yeah,
next
it's-
week or two on Arena.
It'll
Yeah,
probably
it's the,
come back and
it's the
forth in
rank
arena.
draft.
Yeah. I do have a lot of gold banked.
Mono blue.
I've been saving it for
Get
Theros.
Gadwick the Wizened.
Yes.
I played some standard, and a lot of my opponents were playing Uro, but my favorite deck that I played against, at least, was also playing Ashiok and Polukranos or Polukranos. I think maybe it's Polukranos. I mentioned this before.
Yeah, we went deep on it.
Yeah, exactly. But new Polukranos was pretty good.
New Polukranos is
not
scary.
Uro is not the only card that you might be interested in escaping and constructed. And then they also were using Tameo, Collector of Tales, to mill themselves, as well as the typical package of Hydrocrisis and Nissa and Mana Ramp in blue-green.
I don't like the coloring on the new necks makes me uncomfortable.
So I also read a comment about this, because you'd said that before, and someone explained those are the zombified. Yeah, you mentioned that they're new ones.
Yeah.
So
It
it
smells so bad.
It tells a story that Polukranos
why
has new
Polukranos-
different colors. Yeah.
That's why he's so upset.
And it's also
Or
two
she.
necks growing out of one hole. Yeah, who knows?
Well, yeah, because that's what happens with a Hydra. For every neck you cut off, 2 more grow.
Right.
And so it's like that. They got a head down, and then 2 more are like, "Oh, I'm free now."
I mean, but like two.
Oh, it's the classic D&D thing where it's like, this is an interesting metaphor. I can make rules to explain this as a literal monster.
right.
As a figurative monster, I feel like Polukranos is so angry because 2 of those heads have terrible breath. It's just Halitosis City up there, and they're just on edge constantly.
Anyway.
They seek violence because they're like, look, maybe I'll die too, and I won't be able to smell it anymore.
Are you on edge constantly? Perhaps relax with some shopping at cardkingdom.com.
I was going to say with that on that lovely thought, the halitosis of Polukranos'
There's
new
another
heads.
creature with halitosis. There's the blight breath kettle bleepus.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
true.
yeah,
Big
the
ol'
bleeper.
Big old bleeper.
Theros can't wait for toothpaste to be invented.
Breath mints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mentos. The Isle of Mentos. That's going to do it for episode 300 of Tap Tap Concede. Thank you all for listening for all of these years and for all of these minutes of today's episode. As Nelson alluded to, this show, of course, is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and this trophy is brought to us by Card Kingdom. Thank you so much, Card Kingdom. Check it out. Our I knew what our current pin was. Do you remember, James?
Weird
Weird tap, but okay.
Weird tap, but okay.
Nice.
Surge. And,
Like it.
And of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you, as always, by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time.
Nope.
No?
Nicknames.
Oh, you're right. Thank you, James. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, the nicknames. Yes, Theros Nicknames is coming up, and you can participate by going to lrr.cc/nicknames. This time, that is not going to take you to a subreddit. That is going to take you to a whole thing that was made for us by username Your Games Be Over. It is a whole website that was created just for this, to our exacting standards of all the things we complained about on the subreddit. So you go there. All the cards are there. You can pick which one you want from a menu, or you can cycle through them one at a time. It'll show you existing nicknames, and you can just give a like to the ones that you liked. That's all hidden. You don't know which ones have the most likes. So it's not a popularity thing. You don't know who put them in there. Or if you want to suggest nicknames, you can suggest them. You can put in your nickname and your name. And then we have when we do the nickname episode, we'll be able to pull those out and actually see which ones got the most votes and give proper shout outs to the people that submitted them. So, and you don't need to have a Reddit account to do it. So it's a whole self-contained thing. So thank you so much to Your Games Be Over, who contacted us a couple nickname episodes ago about doing that, and then he's worked with Paul on getting this together. So
It terrifies me how much infrastructure is supporting the nickname episode.
it's so
now.
cool.
Well
Yeah.
done.
So lrr.cc/nicknames to participate, and that will be in a couple weeks
I'm
time.
gonna go put some of my nicknames in there.
Yeah. So until next time, I've been Graham.
I was Cameron.
I was Kathleen.
For Sparta!
Was Nelson. James is on tech today. Heather gets these online, though Matt might be filling in this week. Thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.